some motherfuckers in the previous round, Fabi completely destroys Magnus Carlsen in a Berlin endgame with a 100% accuracy game with white and in a so positional style. And in the second game between both players, they completely again destroyed Carlsen, but now in a tactical position, not in a positional way. But it's a great achievement of Caruana to in the same day destroy Carlsen in the two types of chess, the positional chess and the tactical chess. So let's analyze the second game of the day. Okay, I'm going to flip the board. I want to see from the black side. Okay, Carlsen Fabi, second round, Caruana with black. Carlsen open with d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, c4. And here Fabi take the pawn, the queen's gambit accepted. It takes an okay. White have many options. I not want to stop so much in the open because, but I have no so much idea about this type of lines. I never play with non-colors. So queen a4, knight d7, knight c3, a6. Now the main move was e4. The Carlsen goes with bishop f4, but if e4 here if black plays the same with not the same, but if black plays b5 here you can take bishop b7, knight c3, and then take on e4. But okay, white is slightly better in these lanes. I prefer white a little bit. But the other is playable for black, of course. So e4 was the main move. Carlsen goes with bishop f4. Here b5 was possible, knight b5 and e5. But here bishop d2 would move, knight d4, e3, take and bishop b7. Instead of that, Fabi goes with e6, e4, and now therefore he finally plays this sacrifice, b5. But he doesn't make with the idea of just develop the bishop because now it's not possible because knight takes c7 is coming. So he made just with the idea of sacrifice the rook. So very interesting idea of Fabiano Caruana, just sacrificing well, the exchange and sacrificing the exchange the rook for the knight in the move 8. So very aggressive style by Fabi. Okay, we're going to see who is the Fabi idea. b5, knight takes, 8 takes, queen a8, bishop b4. And here the best defense was bishop d2, stopping the check. And if knight b6, queen c6, bishop d7, here black have a 3-4 repetition. Uh, with bishop c8 and queen d7. This happened in a game between Anatoly Karpov and Judith Polgar in Dortmund 1987, who went in a draw, of course, with 3 repetition. Black, if he wants, he can still playing with bishop d2, Castle and bishop e8, Castle, queen d4 and queen b2. But okay, I think I don't know if Carlsen just wants to avoid the triple repetition or he just want to play for win with king e2, I suppose. But look like a strange move a little bit. But okay, I suppose that he just want to avoid the 3 repetition move and just to play for the victory with king e2. Okay, here Fabi goes with e5 with a good move. Like I say in the previous game, like I say that Fabi made all the best moves. In this game, it's the same. Fabiano makes until the move 25. Fabiano was playing all the best moves. So e5 very good. The idea of e5 is just open files and especially open this queen to enter on d3 and apart open this bishop to go to e4. So very good move e5. Sword castle was another possibility, queen c6 and e5. But wait, I really like e5 because now white should take with the pawn, knight e5. Okay, first black is enter on d1 and apart if knight takes defending sorry black is enter on d3 and if white defends with knight takes e5 here black have bishop g4 check and taking the queen. So uh, for that reason rook d1 that's the only move for white to defend and now very good move again by Fabi knight d3 queen c6 he doesn't care about the check he just play bishop d7 queen c7 and again a very good move of Magnus queen a8 I really like this move just avoiding the queen straight because okay black king is safer than the white king of course so you want to avoid the queen straight queen b8 and now again very good move instead of directly take here very good move king e8 I really like because now you're attacking the queen and after white takes the queen on a8 you have this intermezzo move knight f4 Cool. Okay, it's not winning a piece because the king of white after king e3 is taking the knight on f4. But now after rook a4, rook a2, sorry, black is just winning. So let's stop here a moment and let's understand why it's here black is winning. Because okay, we saw many moves in so fast and every piece is hanging. But I'm going to stop here a moment because okay, now let's see the material. We have a rook against a bishop. Who used to be a rook used to be better than a bishop, but okay, let's see the rook. The rook is in fact in h1, is not playing because okay, maybe if this rook was no on c7 or on b8, okay, fine. But this fucking rook is on h1, and this bishop is going to be so dangerous against the white king. And we have no pieces to defend this bishop. But let's analyze the rest of the pieces. The rook is so active on h2. The white pawns are so good here blockading the one bishop. And the huge problem of white position was the f4 king. Okay, this king sometimes okay in the end games you should activate your king. But the problem is that here there are many pieces. Okay, there are no queens, but your king is still going to be unsafe in the center. So here black is just winning, especially because okay so important thing the h2 rook is so active and the h1 rook is so passive, but the most important the unsafe of the white king. Here Magnus plays rook b1. Uh, okay, I'm going to go back more or less fast to. I want that you have clear the what happens at first. Fabi has sacrificed a exchange here, and after king e2 bad move, he just play e5 to open the position. Now in this position, who is okay, more or less clear. Now Carlsen managed to trade queens with his unsafe king, but after very good move, king e7, knight f4, rook a8, Fabi forced Magnus to have the king on f4. So after rook a2, black is better here. No, black is winning. So okay, let's continue with the game. Rook b1, and now very good move. Deflection g5. Attraction, sorry. This move is attracting or the knight to g5 or the king to g5. If you can with the knight to g5, now black have bishop d2, winning the knight. And if you take with the knight, I can take you on e4 and then to on f4. Open more first taking a pawn and open more the black squares. Because okay, all the time this bishop cannot came to d6 to create problems because e5 all the time. So now the black squares are more open than ever. Rook g1, again good move like always by Fabi. Bishop d6, king g5, knight e4, very good move. King h4, and now again here Fabiano had a checkmate in 9 moves. More or less like we Wesley saw the other day, he had a checkmate in 9 moves and he missed. But the checkmate was, I'm not going to say easy, but okay, you can find it. And apart, if I don't know how many times Fabi has in the clock here, but okay, he had a checkmate. Until here, the game was completely perfect by Fabi. He had a 100% of precision, of accuracy, sorry. But here he had a checkmate with bishop g3, ace takes, and rook a6. Now rook h6 is coming. You should play king h5, and now f5. Great move. Covering g4, and now he's coming with the bishop to e8 with checkmate. So okay, I just can sacrifice the knight, but now checkmate is coming. So very good result. This bishop g3 to be finally checkmate to the white king. Fabi missed that. He played bishop c5, attacking the rook h1, and now again rook a6 is checkmating just like 3 moves. He just rook a6, unstoppable attack, and if king h5, he just bishop e3. I suppose that Fabi here have no time in the clock because if not, okay, I can accept that bishop g3 could be a little bit difficult, but rook a6 was the easiest checkmate ever. But okay, he again missed the checkmate. He played bishop f5. He have just ideas of sorry, I don't know what I thought. Yes, more ideas about take this pawn and promote this pawn. Of course, this goes too. Okay, g4. Fabi is still winning here. Doesn't matter if he doesn't. Okay, it's better always if you win with the segment, but okay, he's still winning. bishop e6, bishop h3, b4, rook h f1, b3, g5, bishop f2, finally taking back the exchange, rook takes, knight takes, and now okay, black takes back the exchange, this pawn is so far advanced, black have an extra pawn, this rook is so active, now, sorry, the, the knight is coming to d3, so black is just winning, bishop f1, but it's interesting how Fabi managed to lose all his advantage. Not all, but Carlsen had some options to can equal or more or less equal the 94, king f4, 95. Okay, here Carlsen best defense was 94, but black is still winning. He played king e3, 94, 92, and for the moment everything is normal. Fabi finally managed to take on b2. But okay, at least white king is more or less active. So okay, that's true that black now have these two pass pawn, but white is more or less active. King e7, h4, f6, 94, and now huge blunder of Fabiano, f takes d5. The problem of this move is that he avoid knight c3, just taking winning a piece after rook e8, rook takes b2, and white have won a piece, of course. The black have huge counterplay for the piece, of course, because he have many pawns. But both players miss this tactic of knight c3 losing a piece. Okay, Carlsen instantly recapture on g5 without think, I suppose. Bishop f5, not avoid, yes, avoiding knight c3 because bishop b1, rook e1. And now again, another mistake of Fabiano, bishop takes c4. Okay, he is still having advantage, but it's not so clear. King f8 simply was better. Bishop b4, rook e4, king f7. And here, Carlsen have this great idea of rook e1. And after king g6 is so strange because after bishop g2, king g5, with 3 pawns up, and bishop d5, the machine say that white defend this position. The knight was here bad place because it's defending the c4 pawn, but you can never move the knight. So and if you doesn't move the knight, this pawn cannot advance. And this pawn cannot advance too because you can take it, and if you move the knight, this pawn is falling or with the bishop. So it's not easy for black to make progress incredibly here. And king c3 was the decisive mistake of Carlsen, but because his position is also bad, of course. And here 91 good move is winning, and now important to rook c2, followed by because okay you cannot advance directly because bishop c4 and bishop a2. So good move rook c2, rook e1, and here just knight b2, followed by knight d3, and just Fabiano won the game. I really like this game because Fabiano plays in a so aggressive style. And the most impressive thing, in my opinion, is that in the two games, in the first, Fabi won in a so technical way, the iron game, and in the second game, he won in a so tactical way, sacrificing a exchange. And incredible, huh? Fabi completely outplayed Magnus Carlsen in all the styles, in a positional style and in a tactical style. So congratulations to Fabi because make these two masterpieces against the best player in the history is of course so difficult. I'm going to analyze a couple of more games in this tournament. One victory between of Carlsen above gukesh, another victory of the following day with Carlsen above Caruana. So let's see the next videos. Bye bye, motherfuckers.